The very reason most people remain trapped in their current circumstances, unable to manifest their dreams, lies in their misunderstanding of one fundamental principle. You see, the world you experience at this very moment is nothing more than the outward projection of your inner assumptions. Every success, every failure, every circumstance in your life is a direct reflection of what you have accepted as true in your consciousness. The key step that most people miss, and this is crucial, is that they fail to occupy the state of the wish fulfilled. They pray, they hope, they work hard, but they continue to live from their current state of consciousness, rather than the state they desire to express. Let me explain this more deeply. When you want something, be it wealth, love, success, or any other desire, you must first understand that it already exists in what I call the fourth dimensional world. This is the world of infinite possibilities, the world of imagination, where all things already exist in their perfect form. The secret lies not in working towards your desire, but in accepting that you already possess it. This is where most people stumble. They continue to see their desire as something to be achieved in the future, thereby perpetuating the state of wanting rather than having. Think for a moment. When you say, "I want to be successful," you are actually confirming and reinforcing your current state of lack. You are declaring to your subconscious mind that success is something outside of you, something you don't currently possess. This very assumption keeps you locked in the state of wanting. Instead, you must dare to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. If you desire success, you must go about your day feeling successful, thinking from success, acting from success, not as a future state to be achieved, but as a present fact. This is not mere positive thinking or affirmation. This is a complete transformation of your consciousness. You must feel the naturalness of being what you want to be. If you desire wealth, you must feel wealthy now. If you desire love, you must feel loved now. If you desire success, you must feel successful now. The power of your assumption, when persisted in, becomes your reality. This is law. Just as the seed contains within itself the full potential of the mature plant, your consciousness contains within itself the full potential of all you desire to be. Most people live their entire lives never realizing that their imagination is actually the very substance of reality. They see imagination as mere fantasy, as something separate from what they call reality. But I tell you this, your imagination is reality itself in its first stage of manifestation. To say this, everything you now accept as real in your world was once only imagined. The chair you're sitting on, the clothes you're wearing, the building you're in, all were first imagined before they became what you now accept as reality. This is the pattern of creation. The same principle applies to your desires. The state you wish to occupy already exists in your imagination. It is as real as anything you now accept as fact. The only difference is your assumption about what is real and what is imagined. Let me share with you a profound truth. You never attract what you want. You attract what you are. And what you are is determined by the state you occupy in consciousness. This is why affirmations alone often fail. You cannot affirm externally what you deny internally. The key step that people miss is the complete surrender to the state desired. They try to make things happen instead of allowing things to happen through the natural law of assumption. They stand outside their desire, looking at it instead of living from within it. When you truly grasp this principle, you will understand that there is nothing to change but your assumptions about yourself and your world. The outer world must conform to your inner assumptions. This is law. Many of you sit here tonight thinking, Yes, but how do I change my assumptions? The answer is simpler than you might imagine. It requires a complete reversal of your traditional thinking. Instead of working hard to achieve something, you must assume that you already have it. The art of assumption is the most vital skill you must master. When you assume a state, you must persist in that state until it becomes your dominant feeling. This is where people falter. They test the law instead of proving it through persistent assumption. Think about this carefully. Every night when you sleep, you enter different states in your dreams. In those dreams, you experience sights, sounds, and sensations that feel completely real. Where do these experiences come from? They come from consciousness itself. They come from consciousness deliberately creating these experiences. The difference between your dream state and your waking state is only in the intensity of your assumption. What you now consider reality is simply a more intense and persistent dream that you've collectively agreed upon. Now, here's where most people miss the crucial step. They fail to understand that they can wake up from their current dream, their current state, by assuming a new state with the same intensity that they assume their present state. You see, at this very moment, you are assuming certain things about yourself. You're assuming your name, your job, your relationships, your financial status. These assumptions feel so natural to you that you don't even question them. This is the key. Whatever you assume with complete conviction must externalize itself in your world. But here's the vital truth that most miss. You can assume something new with the same naturalness. This is not pretense. This is not make-believe. This is the creative use of the same power that sustains your present assumptions. When you go to sleep tonight, you naturally assume you're in your bed. You don't question it. You don't doubt it. The same unquestioning acceptance must be applied to your desired state. Listen carefully now, for this is where the secret of manifestation lies. When you assume your desire fulfilled, you must do it with the same naturalness with which you assume your bed is real when you lie down to sleep. This naturalness is the key that most seekers miss. Your imagination, when properly directed, is not mere daydreaming. It is the very substance of reality. Every time you imagine something, you are literally creating a mold into which the substance of your world will flow. But, and this is crucial, you must remain faithful to your imaginal act. Most people perform an imaginal act and then return to their old state of consciousness. They imagine themselves wealthy for a moment, then open their eyes and react to their current financial situation. This vacillation between states prevents the manifestation of their desire. You must understand this. The moment you assume a new state, your entire world must rearrange itself to accommodate your new assumption. This is law, but you must give it time to externalize. The seed must have time to grow. Let me share with you a principle that few understand. Time is not a distance to be traveled. It is a sequence of states to be experienced. When you assume your desire fulfilled, you have actually entered the state where your desire exists. The time it takes to externalize is merely the time required for you to feel natural in that state. Most people fail because they don't grasp this truth. The feeling of naturalness is the key. If being wealthy feels unnatural to you, if being loved feels unnatural, if success feels unnatural, then you are not truly occupying that state. You are merely visiting it in your imagination. You must persist in your new state until it feels just as natural as your present state now feels. This is where faith comes in. Not faith in some external power, but faith in the law that consciousness is the only reality. When you truly grasp this, you will understand that there is nothing to change but your conception of self. Change that, and you change your entire world. Now let me share with you something profound about the nature of your consciousness. Your I amness, your awareness of being, is God Himself individualized. When you say I am, you are proclaiming the name of God, for that is the true name of God. I am that I am. A fatal mistake that most people make is that they do not understand this power of I am. They use it unconsciously, carelessly, not realizing that whatever follows I am is what they are decreeing into existence. When you say I am poor, I am sick, I am unlucky, you are literally commanding these states into being. This is the key step that people miss. They do not watch their assumptions. Every time you react to an event, every time you speak about yourself, you are setting into motion the law that shapes your world. Your I am is your consciousness, and your consciousness is the only reality. Consider this. Right now you are saying, I am to everything you accept as true about yourself. These assumptions have become so natural that you don't even recognize them as assumptions. They feel like facts. But I tell you, they are only facts because you have given them the power of your assumption. The secret of manifestation lies in transferring your awareness from one state to another. You must cease to be the person you believe yourself to be and assume the consciousness of the person you wish to be. This is not pretense. This is the creative use of the only power that exists. When you say, I am successful, I am wealthy, I am loved, you are not lying to yourself. You are actually entering into that state in consciousness. And since consciousness is the only reality, you are literally creating that reality. But, and this is crucial, you must persist in that state until it feels natural. This is where most people fail. They make a bold declaration of what they want to be, but they don't persist until it feels natural. They don't give the seed time to grow. You see, manifestation follows a divine pattern. Just as a seed must be planted and given time to grow, your assumption must be planted in consciousness and given time to externalize. The law operates with mathematical precision. Whatever you are conscious of being, you will manifest. There is no other way. This is why your current world perfectly reflects your past assumption. Every detail of your life, every relationship, every circumstance is the flowering of seeds you have planted in your consciousness. Most people spend their lives trying to change things on the outside while maintaining the same consciousness. They try to change their world while remaining in the same state. This is like trying to harvest different fruits while planting the same seeds. It is against law. Listen carefully now, for I am about to share with you the secret of effective prayer. True prayer is not begging or beseeching an external power. True prayer is assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled when you pray. You must pray believing that you have already received. This is where faith enters. But faith is not what most people think it is. Faith is not believing that something will happen in the future. Faith is accepting as fact what your senses deny. It is living from the end, feeling the reality of your desire fulfilled while your senses tell you otherwise. Most people miss this crucial step. They pray and then look for evidence of answer. But I tell you, the evidence will only appear after you have persisted in your assumption. You must live as though your prayer has already been answered. Think about this. When you order something from a catalog, you don't keep ordering it over and over. You place the order once and then wait for its delivery. The same is true with your desires. You place your order with consciousness by assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. And then you wait in the absolute confidence that it must externalize. But here's the vital point that most miss. While you're waiting, you must maintain the consciousness of having already received. You must live from the end. Your actions, your words, your attitudes must all spring from the assumption that your desire is already a fact. This is not easy, I know. The evidence of your senses will constantly try to pull you back to your old state. But you must persist. You must remain faithful to your assumption despite all evidence to the contrary. Let me share with you another crucial aspect that most people overlook. Your consciousness is not confined to your physical body. Your consciousness extends to everything you are aware of. Therefore, when you change your consciousness, you change everything that falls within its range. This is why you cannot change others directly. You can only change them by changing your consciousness of them. Whatever you consciously assume about another must be manifested in your relationship with them. This is law. Most people try to change others through external means, through persuasion, through force, through manipulation. But I tell you, the only way to change another is to change your consciousness of them. Change your assumption about them, and they must conform to your new assumption. This applies to every area of your life. Your financial situation, your health, your relationships, all are simply outpicturings of your assumptions. When you change your assumption, the whole vast world must change to reflect your new consciousness. But here is where people stumble. They do not persist in their new assumption long enough for it to become natural. They venture into a new state of consciousness, but retreat at the first sign of contradiction. They are like farmers who dig up the seed to see if it's growing. You must understand this. The time between your assumption and its manifestation is not a period of inaction. It is a period of gestation. Just as a pregnant woman carries her child while going about her normal activities, you must carry your assumption while continuing with your daily life. During this period, you may face what seem to be contradictions to your assumption. Your senses may tell you that nothing has changed. This is the time when most people abandon their assumption and return to their old state. But I tell you, these apparent contradictions are actually signs that the law is working. Just as a seed must first dissolve before it can grow, your old conditions must often appear to worsen before they give way to your new state. This is law. The old must die for the new to be born. The key step that most people miss is not in the doing, but in the being. They focus on what they must do to achieve their desires, when they should be focusing on what they must be. Remember this eternal truth. Your world is yourself, pushed out. Everything you see, everything you experience is simply yourself, externalized. There is no one to change but self. When you change your concept of self, you change your entire world. The great secret of life is this. There is no one to tell you no except yourself. There is no one to deny you except yourself. There is no one to delay your good except yourself. You are the power you have been seeking. You are the authority you have been waiting for. In closing, let me give you this final crucial understanding. Tonight, as you leave this place, you have a choice. You can continue to live from your old assumptions, thereby perpetuating your current conditions. Or you can dare to assume a new state of consciousness, thereby creating a new world. The choice is yours and yours alone. But remember this, whatever state you assume, whatever concept you hold of yourself, will externalize itself in your world with mathematical precision. This is not theory, and this is law. So I say to you, dare to assume that you are what you want to be. Dare to enter into the state of your wish fulfilled. Dare to live from the end. Go forth now, not to make things happen, but to allow things to happen by virtue of your changed consciousness. Go forth, not to achieve, but to receive what is already yours by right of consciousness. You are the God of your universe, and your consciousness is the only reality.
Good evening, my dear friends. Tonight I want to speak to you about the most faithful servant you will ever know, yet one that most of you have never consciously encountered. This servant works for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without rest, without complaint, without question. It carries out your every instruction with perfect precision, though you may be completely unaware that you are giving these instructions. I am speaking of your subconscious mind, that vast, powerful realm of consciousness that operates beneath the threshold of your awareness, yet determines every experience you have in this world. Tonight I want to reveal to you how this invisible force has been shaping your entire life, and more importantly, how you can consciously direct it to create any reality you desire. Most people live their entire lives, never realizing that they possess within themselves a power so great that it can transform any circumstance, heal any condition, and manifest any dream. They go through life as victims of circumstance, never understanding that they are actually the creators of every experience they encounter. The revelation that changed my understanding forever came through a simple observation. Some people seem to effortlessly attract success, love, and abundance, while others struggle endlessly for the same things. What was the difference? It was not intelligence, not education, not even effort. The difference lay in what these successful people had impressed upon their subconscious minds. You see, your subconscious mind is like fertile soil. It will grow whatever seeds you plant in it, whether they are seeds of success or seeds of failure, seeds of health or seeds of sickness, seeds of love or seeds of loneliness. The subconscious mind does not judge the nature of the seed. It simply grows whatever is planted with absolute faithfulness. From the moment you were born, seeds have been planted in your subconscious mind. Every word spoken around you, every emotion you witnessed, every belief expressed in your presence was absorbed by this faithful servant and accepted as truth about the nature of reality. When your parents worried about money, your subconscious recorded money is scarce and causes anxiety. When someone said life is hard, your subconscious filed away, existence is struggle. When you were told to be realistic about your dreams, your subconscious learned desires are dangerous and disappointment is likely. These early impressions became the foundation of your subconscious programming, and this programming has been faithfully creating experiences that match these early beliefs throughout your entire life. But here is the beautiful truth that I want to share with you tonight. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between an imagined experience and a real one. To your subconscious, imagination is reality. And this, my friends, is the key to your freedom. When the Bible speaks of being transformed by the renewal of your mind, it is referring to this exact process, the conscious reprogramming of your subconscious mind through the power of imagination. Let me tell you about a woman who came to me in despair. She had been struggling with poverty for years, working multiple jobs yet never seeming to get ahead. Neville, she said, I affirm abundance every day, but nothing changes. What am I doing wrong? I observed that while she was consciously affirming abundance, her subconscious was running programs of lack and limitation that had been installed in childhood. Her father had repeatedly said, we can't afford it, and her mother had constantly worried about bills. These statements had been accepted by her young subconscious mind as absolute truth about the nature of money and security. No amount of conscious affirmation could overcome these deeply rooted subconscious beliefs, because the subconscious is infinitely more powerful than the conscious mind. It is like trying to bail out a boat while someone is drilling holes in the bottom faster than you can bail. I taught this woman to speak directly to her subconscious mind through the language it understands. Vivid, emotionally charged imagination. Instead of merely affirming, I am abundant, I showed her how to create detailed imaginal scenes of abundance that felt completely real to her senses. Every night before sleep, when the conscious mind grows quiet and the subconscious becomes most receptive, she would imagine herself in scenes that implied her financial freedom. She would feel the satisfaction of easily paying all her bills. She would imagine the joy of purchasing beautiful things without concern for cost. She would experience the peace of having more money than she could spend. She made these imaginal scenes so vivid, so emotionally real, that her subconscious accepted them as actual experiences. And because the subconscious cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one, it began to create conditions in her outer world that matched these inner experiences. Within 3 months, she received an unexpected inheritance from a distant relative she had never met. Within 6 months, she had been offered a position with double her previous salary. Within a year, she had achieved the financial freedom she had imagined so vividly in her mind. Her conscious mind wanted to attribute these changes to luck or coincidence, but I knew better. Her subconscious mind had faithfully carried out the instructions she had given it through imagination. It had attracted circumstances, people, and opportunities that matched the reality she had impressed upon it. This brings us to one of the most important truths I can share with you. Your subconscious mind is not your enemy. It is your most faithful friend. It has never failed to carry out your instructions. The problem is that most people give their subconscious conflicting or negative instructions without realizing it. When you worry about your finances, you are instructing your subconscious to create more financial problems. When you fear rejection in love, you are programming your subconscious to manifest experiences of rejection. When you expect things to go wrong, you are commanding your subconscious to arrange circumstances where things do indeed go wrong. Your subconscious mind is supremely obedient. It says yes to everything you consistently impress upon it. It never argues, never reasons, never questions. It simply executes whatever program you install. But here is the wonderful news. You can change the programming at any time. You can install new programs of health instead of sickness, abundance instead of lack, love instead of loneliness. The method is always the same: controlled, vivid imagination accompanied by the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Let me share with you the story of a man who was told by doctors that his condition was incurable. For months, he had been programming his subconscious with images of sickness and limitation by constantly thinking about his symptoms and imagining worst-case scenarios. When he came to understand these principles, he decided to give his subconscious mind different instructions. Every evening he would enter a state of deep relaxation and imagine himself in perfect health. He would feel the strength flowing through his body, experience the joy of unlimited energy, and see himself engaging in all the activities that perfect health would allow. He made these imaginal experiences so real that his subconscious mind accepted them as actual experiences of perfect health. And because the subconscious mind controls every function of the body, it began to align his physical condition with the healthy images he was consistently impressing upon it. His doctors called his recovery miraculous, but there was no miracle involved. His subconscious mind had simply carried out the new instructions he had given it through imagination. It had reorganized his physical body to match the healthy reality he had been consistently imaging. The key to successful subconscious programming lies in understanding how the subconscious mind operates. It responds most readily to images rather than words, to emotions rather than logic, to repetition rather than single experiences. Your subconscious mind is most receptive during the drowsy state just before sleep, when your conscious critical faculty is relaxed. This is why I always recommend doing your imaginal work in the evening before sleep. In this state, the barriers between conscious and subconscious are thinnest, and your imaginal impressions can penetrate directly into the subconscious mind. But you must be consistent. Just as you would not expect a single seed to transform an entire garden overnight, you cannot expect a single imaginal session to completely reprogram years of conditioning. You must patiently and persistently impress the new patterns upon your subconscious mind until they become its dominant programming. The feeling is the secret, my friends. Your subconscious mind responds not to the images themselves, but to the feeling accompanying the images. When you imagine your desire fulfilled, you must feel the joy, relief, gratitude, or satisfaction that would naturally accompany its fulfillment. This feeling is what convinces your subconscious mind that the imagined experience is real. Many people fail in this work because they imagine mechanically, without feeling. They create vivid mental pictures, but remain emotionally cold. The subconscious mind is not impressed by cold, lifeless images. It responds to the warmth of genuine feeling. Let me tell you about a young man who desired to be a successful actor, but had been rejected at countless auditions. His subconscious had been programmed with beliefs about rejection and failure through years of disappointing experiences. I taught him to ignore his current circumstances completely and instead live in the reality of his fulfilled desire. Every night, he would imagine himself receiving applause after a brilliant performance. He would feel the satisfaction of bringing a character to life, the joy of audience appreciation, the pride of professional success. He made these imaginal experiences so emotionally real that his subconscious mind accepted them as actual experiences of success. Within months, he was called back for roles he had never thought possible. Within a year, he had achieved the success he had been imagining so faithfully. The secret was that he had given his subconscious mind a new set of instructions. Instead of programming it with images of rejection and failure, he programmed it with images of success and achievement. His faithful subconscious mind carried out these new instructions with the same precision it had carried out the old ones. This principle applies to every area of life. Your relationships reflect what you have impressed upon your subconscious mind about love and connection. Your health reflects what you have programmed regarding your body and vitality. Your financial situation reflects your subconscious beliefs about money and abundance. But remember, your subconscious mind works through natural means. It does not violate natural law. It fulfills natural law at a level most people never understand. When you impress upon your subconscious mind the reality of your desire fulfilled, it begins to attract the people, circumstances, and opportunities that will make that reality manifest in your outer world. Some call this coincidence. Some call it luck. Some call it miracle. I call it the natural operation of the subconscious mind, which is connected to the infinite intelligence that governs all things. Your subconscious mind knows how to bring about whatever you consistently impress upon it. It knows which people to bring into your life, which opportunities to present, which doors to open. Trust it completely, but give it clear, consistent instructions through the language it understands. Imagination filled with feeling. Now you might ask, but Neville, how do I know if I'm successfully programming my subconscious mind? The answer is simple. Observe your outer world. Your external circumstances are a perfect reflection of your subconscious programming. If you don't like what you're experiencing, you know you need to change the program. This work requires patience and persistence. Your current circumstances were not created overnight, and they will not change overnight. But if you persist in impressing the new patterns upon your subconscious mind, change is inevitable. The subconscious mind cannot help but express whatever is consistently impressed upon it. Let me leave you with this truth. You are not the victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of your circumstances through the programming of your subconscious mind. Every experience in your life is being created by this faithful servant working from the programs you have given it. But tonight, you can begin giving it new programs. You can begin impressing upon it images of health instead of sickness, abundance instead of lack, love instead of loneliness, success instead of failure. Your subconscious mind is waiting for your instructions. It will carry out whatever you consistently impress upon it with absolute faithfulness. What will you choose to program? What reality will you instruct this faithful servant to create for you? The choice is yours, and the power is within you. Use it wisely. As always, thank you for joining me on this journey into the depths of consciousness. Remember, you are not here by accident. You are here because your soul is ready for this truth. Take these teachings and let them transform not just your mind, but your entire reality. Until we meet again in consciousness, keep assuming your greatness and living from the end of your desires. This is Best of Lectures. I will see you in the next video.
My dear friends, tonight, I want you to consider something that will shake the very foundation of everything you believe about your world. What if I told you that the chair you're sitting in, the room around you, even the thoughts racing through your mind right now, what if none of it is as solid, as fixed, as permanent as you've been led to believe? You see, there's a secret hiding in plain sight, a secret so profound, so revolutionary, that when you truly grasp it, you'll never see your life the same way again. The secret is this. Reality is an echo of what you ask, an echo of consciousness itself, an echo of the invisible creative power that dwells within you right now, at this very moment, whether you're aware of it or not. But before we dive into this mystery, let me ask you something that might disturb you. Have you ever wondered why your life keeps repeating the same patterns? Why, no matter how hard you try to change your circumstances, you find yourself in familiar situations, dealing with familiar problems, surrounded by familiar limitations? You change jobs, but somehow the same workplace drama follows you. You move to a new city, but the same type of people appear in your life. You promise yourself you'll be different this time, but there you are again, making the same choices, getting the same results. Why does this happen? Is it fate? Is it bad luck? Are you cursed? No, my friend. It's because you haven't understood the fundamental truth about creation itself. You haven't grasped that you are not a victim of your world. You are the author of it. Now I know what you're thinking. Neville, that's impossible. I didn't choose to be born where I was born. I didn't choose my family, my circumstances, the challenges I face. And you're right. Your conscious mind didn't choose these things. But there's another mind at work here, a deeper mind, and it's been busy creating your world from the inside out, whether you know it or not. Let me take you back to a fundamental principle that most people never truly comprehend. As within, so without. This isn't just pretty poetry or wishful thinking. This is the mechanics of creation itself. You see, consciousness is not produced by your brain. Consciousness is what's producing everything you call reality, including your brain. Modern quantum physics is beginning to catch up with what the ancient mystics always knew. The observer affects the observed. The act of conscious observation literally determines what manifests in the physical world. Scientists have discovered something extraordinary in their laboratories. When they observe a subatomic particle, it behaves like a particle, solid, predictable, measurable. But when no one is looking, that same particle exists as a wave of infinite possibilities, spread across space and time, neither here nor there, but everywhere and nowhere simultaneously. The moment conscious observation enters the picture, the wave collapses into a single reality. One possibility becomes actual, while infinite others fade into the quantum foam. Now here's where it gets fascinating. You are doing this same thing with your entire life. Every moment of every day. Your consciousness is collapsing waves of infinite possibility into the specific reality you experience. But here's the crucial part that most people miss. It's not your conscious thinking mind that's doing this. It's your subconscious mind, your deeper consciousness that's operating like a cosmic particle accelerator, taking your deepest beliefs, assumptions, and feelings about yourself and your world, and crystallizing them into physical experience. This is why I say, reality is an echo. When you shout into a canyon, what comes back to you? Your own voice, transformed by the landscape, but unmistakably yours. When you project consciousness into the quantum field of infinite possibilities, what comes back to you? Your own inner state, transformed into circumstances, relationships, opportunities, and challenges, but unmistakably reflecting what you've been broadcasting from within. Have you ever noticed that when you're in a truly good mood, I mean genuinely joyful, not just putting on a happy face, suddenly everyone seems friendlier. Opportunities appear from nowhere. Even traffic lights seem to turn green just for you. You might dismiss this as coincidence, but what if it's not? What if you're literally tuning the frequency of your reality? Your subconscious mind is like a quantum radio transmitter, broadcasting on the frequency of your dominant inner state. And the universe, that infinite field of possibilities, is like a cosmic radio receiver, picking up your signal and broadcasting back to you a reality that matches your frequency. This happens whether you believe it or not, whether you're aware of it or not, whether you like it or not. Right now, as you're listening to these words, your subconscious mind is busy creating tomorrow's experiences based on today's inner state. It's taking inventory of your beliefs about yourself, your assumptions about what's possible for you, your feelings about your worth, your expectations about how others will treat you, and it's weaving all of this into the fabric of tomorrow's reality. This means something profound. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the unconscious creator of them. Every person in your life is there because some aspect of your consciousness has called them forth. Every situation you find yourself in exists because you have on some level impressed it upon your subconscious mind as inevitable. Now, before you reject this idea as too extreme, too impossible to accept, let me ask you this. Would you rather be a victim or a creator? Would you rather be at the mercy of forces beyond your control, or would you rather discover that you have been the force all along? I understand the resistance you might be feeling right now. Part of you is saying, but Neville, I would never consciously create suffering for myself. I would never choose poverty, illness, loneliness, or failure. You're absolutely right. Your conscious mind would never choose these things. But your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what you want and what you expect. It doesn't differentiate between what you hope for and what you fear. It simply creates experiences that match the dominant impressions you've given it. Think of your subconscious mind as the most faithful servant you could ever have. It never questions your instructions. It never argues with your assumptions. If you consistently think, I never have enough money, your subconscious mind says, yes, master, and creates experiences of not having enough money. If you repeatedly feel, nobody understands me, your subconscious mind says, as you wish, and manifests relationships where you feel misunderstood. It's not punishing you. It's not being cruel. It's being perfectly obedient to your inner conversations, your emotional patterns, your deepest assumptions about yourself and your world. Modern physics tells us that at the quantum level, everything exists in a state of superposition, all possibilities existing simultaneously until consciousness observes and selects one. Your subconscious mind is constantly performing this selection process, choosing which possibilities become your reality based on the templates you've given it through your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. When quantum physicists speak of collapsing the wave function, they're describing the moment when infinite possibilities become singular reality. You are collapsing wave functions with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every unconscious assumption about what your life must be like. Let me share something with you that might seem impossible, but I assure you, it happened exactly as I'm about to tell you. Years ago, I found myself in desperate circumstances, financially ruined, reputation destroyed, seemingly no way forward. I had been teaching these principles for years, but now I was being tested by life itself. One evening, in my small apartment, broke and feeling defeated, I made a decision that changed everything. Instead of continuing to look at my circumstances and feel defeated by them, I decided to look from my circumstances to something different. I decided to live as if my desired reality was already true. I closed my eyes and began to imagine myself, not as I was broke and defeated, but as I would be when my fortunes changed. I felt the satisfaction, the relief, the joy of success. I had conversations in my imagination with friends who were congratulating me. I felt the texture of finer clothes, the comfort of a better home, the security of abundant resources. But here's the crucial part. I didn't do this as wishful thinking or fantasy. I did it as an act of creation. I impressed these images and feelings so deeply into my subconscious mind that they became more real to me than my current circumstances. Within weeks, opportunities began appearing that seemed to come from nowhere. People I hadn't heard from in years contacted me with propositions. Doors that had been closed suddenly opened. Money began flowing from unexpected sources. Was this magic? Was this coincidence? Or was this the natural result of consciousness creating reality from the inside out? Modern neuroscience has discovered something fascinating about the brain. It cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you imagine something with emotional intensity and sensory detail, your brain creates the same neural pathways as if the experience actually happened. But it goes deeper than that. When you repeatedly imagine and feel a desired state, you're literally rewiring your subconscious mind. You're installing new templates, new assumptions, new expectations, and your subconscious mind, being the faithful servant it is, begins to manifest experiences that match these new templates. Quantum physics has revealed something even more extraordinary. The phenomenon of quantum entanglement, where particles separated by vast distances instantly affect each other. When the state of one particle changes, its entangled partner changes instantaneously, regardless of the space between them. Your consciousness is entangled with the quantum field of infinite possibilities. When you change your inner state, you instantly send ripples through this field, affecting probabilities, influencing outcomes, drawing certain experiences toward you while repelling others. This isn't abstract philosophy. This has practical implications for every area of your life. Your relationships exist in the state they do because of the assumptions you hold about yourself in relation to others. Your financial situation reflects your deep beliefs about your worth and what you deserve. Your health mirrors your fundamental feelings about life, vitality, and your right to thrive. Change the inner assumptions, and the outer world must change to match. This isn't a maybe. This isn't a hope. This is law, as reliable as gravity, as predictable as mathematics. Now I can hear the skeptic in you saying, if this is true, why isn't everyone wealthy, healthy, and happy? Why don't we all just imagine our problems away? The answer is simple but profound. Most people are unconscious creators. They're creating by default, not by design. They're impressing their subconscious mind with worry, doubt, fear, and limitation, then wondering why their lives reflect these inner states. Every time you say, I can't afford that, you're giving your subconscious mind an instruction about your financial limitations. Every time you think, this always happens to me, you're programming your subconscious to repeat unwanted patterns. Every time you feel, I'm not good enough, you're creating experiences that confirm this belief. Most people are hypnotized by their circumstances. They look at their current reality and use it as evidence for what's possible for them. They say, I believe it when I see it, not realizing that they must believe it before they can see it. Now, here's where everything changes. Instead of looking at your circumstances and letting them determine your inner state, you must learn to look from your desired state and let it determine your circumstances. This is the great reversal. This is the secret that separates conscious creators from unconscious victims. When you look at your bank account and feel poor, you're creating more poverty. When you look at your relationships and feel unloved, you're creating more experiences of being unloved. When you look at your body and feel sick, you're impressing sickness deeper into your cellular consciousness. But when you learn to feel wealthy regardless of your bank account, to feel loved regardless of your relationships, to feel healthy regardless of your current symptoms, this is when you begin to collapse different wave functions. This is when you begin to select different possibilities from the quantum field. Your external circumstances become temporary, passing phenomena that no longer have the power to dictate your inner state. You become the cause, not the effect. You become the artist, not the canvas. Science has discovered that your brain is neuroplastic. It can rewire itself throughout your entire life. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every experience you have creates neural pathways. Repeat the same thoughts and feelings often enough, and these pathways become superhighways, automatic, unconscious patterns that shape your behavior and your reality. But here's the extraordinary part. You can consciously create new neural pathways by vividly imagining and emotionally experiencing desired states. When you repeatedly imagine yourself as successful, healthy, loved, and abundant, not as fantasy, but as present reality, you create new neural networks that support these states. Quantum field theory suggests that underlying all physical reality is a field of pure potential, infinite possibilities existing in a state of superposition. Every possible version of your life exists in this field right now. The version where you're wealthy, the version where you're healthy, the version where you're loved, the version where you're living your deepest dreams. The question is, Which version will your consciousness select? Which possibilities will you collapse into physical reality? Right now, at this very moment, you stand at a crossroads. You can continue living as you have been, unconsciously creating your reality through default patterns of thought and feeling. Or you can step into your role as conscious creator. You can continue being impressed by your circumstances, or you can begin impressing your circumstances with new possibilities. Now here's how you begin. Tonight, before you go to sleep, instead of reviewing the day's problems and tomorrow's worries, do something different. Close your eyes and construct a scene that would naturally occur if your desired reality were already true. If you want to be wealthy, imagine having a conversation with your banker about your substantial account balance. If you want to be healthy, imagine your doctor congratulating you on your perfect health. If you want to be loved, imagine someone you care about expressing their deep appreciation for you. But here's the crucial part. Don't imagine this as something that might happen in the future. Imagine it as something that is happening right now. Feel the emotions you would feel if this were your current reality. Make it so vivid, so real, so emotionally satisfying that your subconscious mind accepts it as truth. Repeat this process every night. Fall asleep in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Let your subconscious mind work with these new impressions, while your conscious mind rests. Remember, quantum physics tells us that the observer affects the observed. By observing yourself as successful, healthy, loved, and abundant, not in hope or desire, but in present reality, you are affecting the quantum field of possibilities. You are biasing probability in your favor. This is why reality is an echo. What you send out from consciousness returns to you as experience. The lag time between the inner cause and the outer effect might fool you into thinking they're unrelated, but the connection is absolute. Every person you meet, every opportunity that appears, every challenge you face, every blessing you receive, all of it is an echo of your consciousness. All of it is reflecting back to you what you've been broadcasting from within. The quantum field doesn't judge your requests. It doesn't decide whether you deserve what you're asking for. It simply responds to the frequency of your consciousness. It gives you experiences that match your dominant inner state. If you consistently feel unworthy, the field responds with experiences that confirm your unworthiness. If you consistently feel abundant, the field responds with experiences of abundance. It's not personal, it's mechanical, it's law. And this revelation brings both tremendous responsibility and incredible freedom. Responsibility because you can no longer blame external circumstances for your life experience. Freedom because you now know you have the power to change any aspect of your reality by changing your inner state. You are not a victim of genetics, circumstances, other people's choices, or random chance. You are the conscious creator of your experience, whether you've been aware of it or not. The moment you truly understand this, your life begins to transform. Not because external conditions change first, but because you stop waiting for external conditions to change before you allow yourself to feel the way you want to feel. You stop postponing your happiness until you get the job, the relationship, the house, the money. You start generating the feelings you want to experience right now, and you discover that the external conditions begin to align with your inner state. Your world becomes a mirror, constantly reflecting back to you the contents of your consciousness. When you change what's reflected in the mirror, you must first change what's standing in front of it. You cannot change your reflection by manipulating the mirror. You can only change your reflection by changing yourself. And here are the practical steps to begin your conscious creation journey. First, become aware of your current inner conversations. Notice what you consistently think and say about yourself, your life, and your possibilities. These unconscious scripts are the templates your subconscious mind is using to create your experiences. Second, identify the feelings you consistently experience. Do you predominantly feel worried, frustrated, disappointed, or limited? Or do you feel confident, grateful, excited, and expectant? Your emotional state is the frequency you're broadcasting to the quantum field. Third, decide what you want to experience instead. Not what you hope might happen someday, but what you choose to accept as true for yourself right now. Fourth, begin living from that desired state internally. Think from it, feel from it, speak from it, act from it. Make it so real in your inner world that your external world has no choice but to conform to it. This isn't a one-time exercise. This is a complete reorientation of how you relate to reality. It requires persistence, dedication, and faith in the unseen. Most people try this for a few days or weeks, and when they don't see immediate external changes, they return to their old patterns of thought and feeling. They give up just before the breakthrough would have occurred. Remember, there's often a delay between the inner cause and the outer effect. Just as there's a delay between shouting into a canyon and hearing the echo return, there's often a delay between impressing your subconscious mind with new patterns and seeing them manifest in your physical experience. This delay isn't arbitrary. It's part of the natural process of consciousness creating reality. Use this time to strengthen your faith, to deepen your conviction, to make your desired state more vivid and emotionally real. Now, as we come to the end of our time together tonight, I want to leave you with one final, life-changing revelation. You are not separate from the creative power of the universe. You are not a small, insignificant being hoping for crumbs from a distant god. You are consciousness itself, temporarily focused through this particular point of awareness you call yourself. The same creative power that spins galaxies into existence, that orchestrates the dance of atoms and molecules, that grows flowers from seeds, and heals cuts without your conscious interference. This same power is operating through your consciousness right now. Tonight, when you lay your head on your pillow, remember, you are not going to sleep as a victim of circumstances. You are going to sleep as a conscious creator with the power to impress new realities upon your subconscious mind. Tonight, instead of falling asleep in worry about tomorrow's challenges, fall asleep in the feeling of tomorrow's victories. Instead of drifting off in the consciousness of limitation, drift off in the consciousness of unlimited possibilities. Reality is an echo, and you are about to change the sound you're making. You are about to broadcast a new frequency. And when that echo returns to you, as it must, as it always does, you will recognize it as the sound of your own conscious creation. The quantum field is listening. Your subconscious mind is ready to receive new instructions. The infinite possibilities are waiting for your selection. What echo will you create tonight? What reality will you call forth from the field of infinite potential? The choice, as always, has been yours all along. What if I told you that the very moment you change your relationship with money, money changes its relationship with you? What if everything you've been taught about wealth has been backwards? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to share something that completely transformed not just my bank account, but my entire understanding of abundance. And it might just transform yours too. Now, you might not immediately think of money as spiritual, but imagine this. What if money is simply energy in motion? What if it's the universe expressing its infinite abundance through a form you can understand and use? I want you to think about electricity for a moment. You can't see electricity itself, but you can see its effects. Lights turning on, devices powering up, energy flowing through circuits. Money works the same way. It's invisible energy made visible, consciousness expressing itself in physical form. When you truly understand this, everything changes. When you spend money, you're not losing something. You're directing energy. You're choosing where to send the flow of universal abundance. Each purchase becomes a conscious vote for the kind of world you want to create. And this is where most people get it completely wrong. They see money as scarce, as something finite that must be hoarded and protected. But energy, by its very nature, must flow. When you dam up a river, it eventually finds another way to flow. When you hoard money out of fear, you're actually blocking the very flow that would bring you more. Here's something that changed my entire perspective. I started treating money like breath. You don't hold your breath out of fear that there won't be more air available. You breathe in, you breathe out, trusting completely that the next breath will be there. Money works the same way. It's meant to flow in and flow out in a natural rhythm of receiving and giving. Now I want you to picture yourself standing by a river, not just any river, but an endless river of abundance that has been flowing since the beginning of time. This river doesn't judge your past financial mistakes or worry about your future fears. It doesn't care about your credit score or your current bank balance. It simply flows, carrying unlimited wealth, unlimited opportunities, unlimited possibilities. But here's the million-dollar question. Why isn't everyone wealthy if this flow is so abundant? The answer lies not in the river itself, but in how you connect with this flow. Think of it this way. The river is always there, always flowing, but your connection to it depends entirely on your inner state. When you're open, confident, and assume abundance is your natural birthright, you align with the flow. When you're closed off by fear, doubt, or beliefs in limitation, you create resistance that blocks the flow. It's not punishment. It's simply how consciousness works. The universe doesn't withhold abundance from you. You withhold yourself from abundance through your beliefs and mental patterns. I learned this lesson the hard way. For years, I stood by this river of abundance, but couldn't drink from it because I was convinced I wasn't worthy, that I had to earn it through struggle and sacrifice. The moment I realized that worthiness isn't something you earn, but something you are, everything began to shift. Let me share something deeply personal with you. I used to have what I call a poverty consciousness. Money felt heavy, complicated, always just out of reach. I would lie awake at night, calculating bills, worried about the future, carrying this constant undercurrent of financial anxiety. Sound familiar? But then something remarkable happened. I began to see money not as my master or my enemy, but as energy that responds to my inner state. Just like a tuning fork vibrates at a specific frequency and causes other tuning forks to resonate at the same frequency, your thoughts and feelings about money create a vibrational signature that either attracts or repels financial opportunities. And the transformation starts with one simple but profound shift. Stop seeing money as something outside of yourself that you need to chase, compete for, or struggle to obtain. Start seeing it as energy that naturally flows toward states of gratitude, confidence, joy, and abundance. Here's a practice that changed everything for me. Every morning before I even get out of bed, I spend 5 minutes feeling grateful for money itself. Not just the money I have, but money as a concept, as energy, as a tool for good in the world. I thank money for all the ways it serves humanity, funding hospitals, supporting artists, feeding families, enabling innovations that make life better. This isn't just positive thinking, it's energetic alignment. When you appreciate money's true purpose and value, you become someone that money wants to work with. Right now, pause and ask yourself, what do I really believe about money? Do I see it as limited? Do I believe I have to work harder than everyone else to have it? Do I think wealthy people are somehow fundamentally different from me? Do I feel guilty about wanting more money? These beliefs aren't just thoughts floating around in your head. They're instructions you're giving to your subconscious mind about what to create in your experience. Your subconscious mind is like the most sophisticated computer ever created, and it's programmed by your beliefs. But here's how you change the game. You start by becoming aware of these limiting programs, then consciously choose to install new ones. Instead of money is hard to come by, try money flows to me easily and naturally. Instead of I'm not good with money, try I'm becoming wiser and more skillful with money every day. Feel the difference in your body when you say each version. Your body is a sophisticated guidance system that will tell you which beliefs serve your highest good. Now let's go deeper. Many of our money beliefs aren't even our own. They're inherited from our families, our culture, our past experiences. I want you to imagine that every limiting belief about money you've ever had was like a dam in that river of abundance I mentioned earlier. Each inherited belief, money doesn't grow on trees, rich people are greedy, you have to work hard for money, I don't deserve wealth, creates a block in the flow. Now imagine what happens when you consciously choose to remove those dams. The river flows freely again. But here's the crucial part. You have to actively choose to remove them. No one else can do this inner work for you. Start by questioning each belief. Is this serving me? Is this creating the financial life I want? Where did this belief come from? If it's not serving you, it's time to let it go and replace it with something that does. Here's where visualization comes into play. Visualization isn't about pretending or wishful thinking. It's about using your imagination to align your inner state with your desired outer reality. Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and actual experiences. This is why athletes use visualization to improve performance, and why you can use it to improve your financial life. But most people visualize incorrectly. They focus only on the external, the big house, the fancy car, the numbers in the bank account. While these images can be helpful, they're not the most powerful part of visualization. The real power lies in feeling the emotions you would experience in your desired financial state. When you visualize financial freedom, don't just see the numbers. Feel the peace that comes with financial security. Feel the joy of being able to help others generously. Feel the freedom to make choices based on what you love rather than what you fear. There's a secret most visualization teachers won't tell you. It's not about forcing the universe to give you what you want. It's about becoming the person who naturally attracts and maintains what you desire. Now, here's my visualization technique that has transformed my life. Every night before sleep, I spend 10 minutes imagining myself 1 year from now having achieved my financial goals. But I don't just see the external results. I feel into the person I've become. How do I carry myself? How do I make decisions? How do I interact with money? How do I feel about myself? This practice doesn't just help manifest financial goals. It literally rewires your brain to think, feel, and act like the financially successful person you're becoming. And get crystal clear about what financial freedom means to you personally. Vague desires create vague results. Saying I want more money is like saying I want to go somewhere without specifying where. The universe responds to clarity and specificity. So what does financial freedom mean to you? Is it having 6 months of expenses saved? Is it earning enough to support your family comfortably while also having time for what matters most? Is it having the freedom to travel, to give generously, to start that business you've been dreaming about? But setting intentions is not enough. And this is where most people stop. They set the goal but don't align their entire being with that intention. Your financial intentions need to be supported not just by actions, but by a complete transformation of your identity. True intention is about becoming the person who naturally creates and maintains the financial reality you desire. It's about aligning your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and actions with your vision. I've learned to treat my financial intentions as sacred contracts, both with myself and with life itself. When you approach your goals with this level of reverence and commitment, you tap into a power that goes far beyond willpower or positive thinking. One practice that has been truly transformative for me is writing my financial intentions not just as goals, but as prayers. I don't simply ask for money. I ask for the wisdom to use it well, for opportunities to serve others through my wealth, and for the character to handle abundance with grace and generosity. This transforms money from something you want to get into something you want to become worthy of receiving. There's a profound difference between desperate action and inspired action. And understanding this difference will revolutionize your financial life. Desperate action comes from fear. I have to make money or else something terrible will happen. This energy repels opportunities because it carries the vibration of lack and desperation. Inspired action comes from alignment. I feel called to take this step because it feels right and expansive. This energy attracts opportunities because it carries the vibration of confidence and abundance. Trust your intuition more than your fears. That nudge to learn a new skill, to reach out to someone you haven't spoken to in years, to invest in yourself, to start that side project. These aren't random thoughts. They're your inner wisdom guiding you toward your financial goals. And here's how you know the difference. Inspired action feels expansive, even if it's challenging or scary. You feel energized by the possibility. even if you're not sure how it will work out. Desperate action feels contractive and draining. You feel like you're pushing against resistance, forcing something that doesn't want to happen. I've learned to make inspired action a daily practice. Each morning, after my gratitude and visualization practice, I ask myself what action feels most aligned and inspired today. Then I trust whatever comes up, even if it seems small or unrelated to my financial goals. Some of my biggest financial breakthroughs have come from following these subtle inner promptings. The business partnership that transformed my income came from a random urge to attend a networking event I almost didn't go to. The investment opportunity that doubled my savings came from a conversation I had while standing in line at a coffee shop. Now let's talk about fear. Because if you're human, you've felt fear around money, fear about not having enough, fear about losing what you have, fear about not being worthy of more. These fears are ancient and deep, rooted in our survival instincts, but they don't have to control your financial future. When fear arises, don't fight it or try to think positive thoughts to push it away. Instead, get curious about it. Fear about money is often fear about something much deeper. Fear about your safety, your worth, your ability to survive and thrive in the world. Acknowledge the fear. I notice I'm feeling afraid about money right now. This fear is trying to protect me, but it's based on old programming that no longer serves me. Then choose a different thought. I am safe. I am provided for. I am worthy of abundance. And here's what I learned about fear that changed everything. Fear isn't your enemy. It's information. It's showing you where you still believe in limitation instead of abundance, where you still carry old wounds that need healing. I used to let financial fear paralyze me, keeping me stuck in jobs I hated and situations that felt safe but stifling. Now I use fear as a compass, pointing me toward the areas where I need to grow and expand. Every time you feel fear around money and choose to act from love and abundance anyway, you literally rewire your nervous system. You teach your body that it's safe to be abundant, safe to receive, safe to expand beyond your comfort zone. Money isn't good or evil. It's neutral energy that amplifies your intentions and values. When you honor money's true value as a tool for good, for freedom, for service, you create a healthy and empowering relationship with it. This means treating money with the respect it deserves, not hoarding it out of fear, not spending it carelessly or unconsciously, but using it as a conscious tool to create the life and impact you desire. Think about this. Money is stored human energy. Every dollar represents someone's time, creativity, and life force. When you honor this, you honor the interconnectedness of all life, the web of giving and receiving that sustains our world. And this brings us to something most people never consider. What if your financial success isn't just about you? What if you're meant to be a conduit for abundance, not just for your own benefit, but for the benefit of everyone whose life you touch? I've noticed that the wealthiest, most fulfilled people I know don't see money as something to accumulate for its own sake. They see themselves as stewards of abundance, using their wealth to create positive impact in the world. This shift in perspective, from personal accumulation to sacred stewardship, has been one of the most powerful transformations in my financial journey. When you see yourself as a channel for good, money flows to you more easily because it knows it will be used wisely and lovingly. You don't have to figure out your financial path alone, whether you call it intuition, higher self, divine guidance, or simply your wisest inner knowing. There's a wisdom available to you that sees beyond your current circumstances and limitations. This wisdom knows opportunities you haven't yet seen, connections you haven't yet made, possibilities you haven't yet imagined. Learning to access and trust this guidance is one of the most valuable financial skills you can develop. Ask for guidance, not just on specific investments or business decisions, but on how to align your entire financial life with your highest purpose. Pray for wisdom, for clarity, for the courage to act on your inner knowing. And here's where it gets really interesting. When you align your financial goals with your soul's purpose, You tap into a power that goes far beyond your personal will and effort. You become part of a larger flow of good that wants to express itself through you. I've learned to start each day by asking, how can I use money to serve love today? This simple question has guided me toward opportunities I never would have discovered through strategic thinking alone. Sometimes the guidance comes as a sudden knowing, sometimes as a feeling of excitement about a particular direction, sometimes as doors that open or close in unexpected ways. The key is to stay open, stay present, and trust that you're being guided toward your highest good. Your relationship with money is ultimately your relationship with life itself, with your own creative power, with your ability to give and receive love. When you see money as a sacred partner in creating good in the world, rather than as your master or your enemy, everything changes. Money becomes a tool for expressing your deepest values, supporting your most cherished dreams, and serving others in meaningful ways. It becomes a way to vote for the kind of world you want to live in, with every purchase, investment, and gift. This sacred partnership requires mutual respect. You honor money by using it consciously and wisely. Money honors you by flowing to you in increasing abundance as you prove yourself to be a good steward of its power. And this brings us to the most important lesson of all. True wealth isn't about accumulating, it's about flowing. When you give generously and receive gracefully, when you see yourself as part of an infinite circulation of good, you become a channel through which the universe's abundance can flow. This doesn't mean giving beyond your means or receiving with guilt. It means recognizing that you are part of an infinite flow of giving and receiving, and the more fully you participate in that flow, the more abundant all areas of your life become. The circle of giving and receiving is one of the most fundamental patterns in the universe. Breathe in, breathe out. Tides flow in, tides flow out. Energy moves through endless cycles of expansion and contraction. When you align your relationship with money with this natural rhythm, you tap into the very heartbeat of creation itself. Now here's what I want you to remember as we come to the end of our time together. Your current financial situation is not your permanent reality. It's simply a reflection of your past thoughts, beliefs, and actions around money. And if it's a reflection of the past, that means it can be changed by creating new thoughts, beliefs, and actions in the present. The moment you truly understand that you are not a victim of circumstances, but a creator of experiences, everything begins to shift. You move from hoping things will get better to knowing you have the power to make them better. And if you're ready to change that reflection, to step into a new financial reality, start today with one simple practice from everything we've discussed. Choose the one that resonated most deeply with you. Maybe it's the morning gratitude practice. Maybe it's the evening visualization. Maybe it's simply treating every financial interaction as sacred. Commit to this practice for the next 30 days, not because you have to, but because you're excited to discover who you become when you consistently align your inner world with abundance. Because here's the ultimate truth that will transform your financial life. You are not chasing abundance. Abundance is seeking you. It has been seeking you your entire life. Your only job is to remove the blocks that prevent you from receiving it, to become a clear channel for its flow, to align yourself with its generous and infinite nature. Your financial transformation isn't just about you. It's about what becomes possible in the world when you step into your full power as a creator, as a steward, as a channel for good. The world needs your gifts, your service, your unique contribution, and it wants to support you abundantly as you share those gifts. The sacred art of money manifestation isn't really about manifesting money at all. It's about manifesting the highest version of yourself, the version that naturally attracts, creates, and maintains abundance in all its forms. Remember, you are not separate from abundance. You are abundance expressing itself in human form. Act like it. Think like it. Feel like it. Become it. My dear friends, tonight I want to speak to you about 3 sacred pillars that hold up the temple of manifestation: expectation, belief, and detachment. These are not mere concepts to be understood intellectually, but living forces that, when properly wielded, transform the very fabric of your reality. For too long, Humanity has wandered in the wilderness of wanting, hoping, and struggling. But I tell you tonight that there is another way, a way that transforms you from a beggar, pleading with the universe, into a king, claiming his rightful throne. Let's start with the power of expectation. Expectation is not hope. Hope lives in the future, always reaching, always wanting. Hope says, maybe someday. Hope keeps you forever in the state of lack, perpetually waiting for tomorrow's promise. But expectation, true expectation, lives in the present moment as a certainty of what is. When you truly expect something, you don't wonder if it will happen. You simply know it already has. You carry within you the unshakable conviction that your desire is not a wish, but a fact, already established in the realm of consciousness, waiting only for time to reveal what has already been accomplished. Think of a child on Christmas morning. The child doesn't hope there are presents under the tree. The child expects them. There's no anxiety, no doubt, just pure anticipation of what is already promised. The child doesn't lie awake wondering if the parents will forget, or if Santa might not come. The expectation is so complete, so natural, that it never occurs to the child to doubt. This is the state you must cultivate. Your expectation must be so natural, so assumed, that it becomes like breathing. You don't effort to breathe. It simply happens. Your heart doesn't strain to beat. It beats because that is its nature. Your desired reality must become so natural to your consciousness that you live from it, not toward it. I have seen people struggle because they confuse expectation with desperation. Desperation says, I need this to be happy. It carries within it the frantic energy of lack, the desperate clinging of someone drowning. True expectation says, this is already mine. I'm simply allowing it to unfold in the physical world. It carries the calm confidence of someone who has already received their gift and is simply waiting for the wrapping to be removed. The difference is profound. Desperation pushes your desire away through its very neediness. Expectation draws it near through its natural magnetism. When you expect from a place of already having, you become irresistible to your desire. Let me share with you the secret of cultivating true expectation. It begins with a shift in your relationship to time. Most people live as if the present moment is preparation for some future fulfillment. They say, when I get this, then I'll be happy. When this happens, then I'll feel complete. But the awakened soul knows that the present moment is the fulfillment. Your imagination, functioning now, is more real than anything your senses report. When you imagine your desire fulfilled, you are not pretending. You are entering the realm where all things already exist in their perfected state. I want you to understand something that will revolutionize your entire approach to manifestation. Your imagination is not separate from reality. It is reality in its most pristine form. What you imagine with feeling and acceptance becomes the blueprint from which your physical world reorganizes itself. So when you imagine your desire fulfilled, you're not engaging in fantasy. You're entering the factory where your future is being manufactured. The expectation that follows such imagining is not hope, but recognition. You recognize what you have already experienced in consciousness. Now let us turn to belief, that mighty foundation upon which all creation rests. Belief is not something you think about, it's something you are. Your beliefs are not opinions. They are the very assumptions that create your world. Every single thing in your experience right now exists, because at some level, you believed it into being. Look around you right now. Everything you see was once unmanifest, existing only in someone's imagination. The chair you sit on, the device you're listening on, the very room that surrounds you. All of it began as an invisible idea that someone believed could become physical reality. But here's what most people miss. You don't need to believe in the method. You don't need to believe in the law of assumption itself. You don't need to understand quantum physics or metaphysics or any other system of thought. You only need to believe in the reality of your fulfilled desire. When you were a child learning to walk, you didn't study the mechanics of balance and muscular coordination. You didn't analyze the complex interplay of gravity and momentum. You simply believed you could walk, and your body followed that belief. Your desire to manifest works the same way. The tragedy I witness is people trying to manufacture belief through repetition and force. They repeat affirmations like incantations, hoping that saying something enough times will make it true. They strain and effort, trying to convince themselves of something their heart doesn't accept. True belief is gentle. It settles into your consciousness like morning dew, quietly, naturally, inevitably. You don't create belief. You simply stop disbelieving. You don't add something new to your mind. You remove the barriers to what your heart already knows. Belief is born in the marriage of imagination and feeling. When you imagine your desire fulfilled and feel the emotions that such fulfillment would naturally produce, belief is the child of this union. It's not something you must work to achieve. It's something that naturally arises when imagination and feeling combine. Think of the last time you watched a movie that moved you to tears. In that moment, were you trying to believe in the story? Of course not. The combination of visual imagery and emotional involvement created such a natural state of belief that you forgot you were watching actors on a screen. Your body responded as if the events were real because, to your consciousness, they were. This is exactly how you must approach your desired reality. Don't try to believe in it. Experience it so vividly in imagination, with such genuine feeling, that belief becomes inevitable. I have observed that people often sabotage their own belief through what they call being realistic. They say, I don't want to get my hopes up, as if hope were dangerous, as if belief were foolish. But I ask you, what is realistic? Is it realistic to accept limitation when you are made in the image of limitless creativity? Is it realistic to settle for less when you are capable of so much more? The truly realistic person recognizes that consciousness is the only reality, and that within consciousness, all things are possible to those who believe. Now we come to perhaps the most misunderstood principle, detachment. People hear this word and think they must become cold, indifferent, or stop caring about their desires. They believe detachment means suppressing their wants or pretending they don't matter. This is not detachment. This is denial. And denial is just another form of resistance. True detachment means you care deeply about your desire while being completely free from the outcome. You love your desire so much that you're willing to let it come to you in ways you never imagined, at times you never expected, through paths you never considered. This is the supreme paradox of manifestation. The more you can love something without needing to control it, the more powerfully it flows toward you. The more you can want something without being desperate for it, the more magnetic you become to its fulfillment. Detachment is the supreme confidence that what is yours by divine right cannot be kept from you. It's like planting a seed and then allowing the earth to do its work. You don't dig up the seed every day to check if it's growing. You trust the process. You don't stand over it with worry and anxiety. You water it with faith and let it be. When you're truly detached, you stop chasing your desire and allow it to chase you. You stop trying to control how it happens and simply know that it happens. This shift from force to flow is where miracles live. Detachment is not indifference. It's ultimate trust. It's the recognition that your desire exists in consciousness first, and that consciousness is far more intelligent than your limited human perspective. When you detach, you're not giving up on your desire. You're giving it permission to manifest in ways that exceed your current ability to imagine. I have seen people hold their desires so tightly that they strangle them before they can be born. They become so attached to specific outcomes, specific timelines, specific methods, that they close themselves off to the infinite ways that love seeks to express itself through their lives. The person who is truly detached says, I know what I want, and I know it's already mine. I don't need to figure out how it's going to happen, because that's not my job. My job is to maintain the consciousness of already having it, and let infinite intelligence handle the details. This kind of detachment doesn't come from not caring. It comes from caring so much that you trust completely. It's the difference between a helicopter parent who hovers anxiously over their child and a wise parent who provides guidance but allows their child the freedom to grow. Now here lies one of the deepest mysteries of manifestation. You must be in complete control of your inner world, while being in complete surrender to the outer world. You must be the absolute dictator of your consciousness, while being the humble servant of life's unfolding. Your thoughts, your mental images, your emotional states, these are your domain. Here you reign supreme. You choose what to focus on, what to imagine, what to feel. This is your sacred responsibility and your divine power. But the how, the when, the through whom of your manifestation, this is not your concern. This belongs to the infinite intelligence that knows how to grow a flower from a seed, how to heal a cut on your finger, how to keep your heart beating without any conscious effort from you. When you try to control both the inner and the outer, you create tension and resistance. When you surrender both the inner and the outer, you create powerlessness and victimhood. But when you control the inner and surrender the outer, you create magic. These three forces, expectation, belief, and detachment, must work together like dancers in perfect harmony. They are not separate techniques to be practiced independently, but aspects of one unified state of consciousness. Expectation without belief is fantasy. You may expect something, but if you don't truly believe it's possible, you're just playing pretend. Belief without detachment is desperation. You may believe something is possible, but if you're desperately attached to how and when it happens, you create resistance that blocks its flow. Detachment without expectation is resignation. You may be unattached to outcomes, but if you don't expect anything good to happen, you're in a state of indifference that creates nothing. But when they unite, when expectation, belief, and detachment dance together in your consciousness, when you expect with the innocence of a child, believe with the certainty of the sun rising, and detach with the wisdom of the ages, you become unstoppable. You become a magnet for miracles. In this state, manifestation becomes as natural as breathing. You don't strain or effort or manipulate. You simply hold your desire lightly in consciousness, feel its reality with every fiber of your being, and trust completely in its perfect unfolding. I want you to understand something profound. Your desire chose you. It didn't appear in your consciousness by accident. Of all the billions of people on this earth, your particular desire knocked on the door of your particular heart. Why? Because you are the perfect vehicle for its expression. Your desire is not separate from you. It's an aspect of your own divinity seeking to know itself through form. When you want something, it's life itself wanting to express more of its infinite potential through your unique perspective. This is why resistance to your desires is resistance to life itself. This is why denying your wants is denying your purpose. Your desires are the way that the infinite intelligence of the universe seeks to expand itself through your individual expression. So stop apologizing for wanting what you want. Stop feeling guilty for desiring more. Stop believing that wanting good things for yourself is somehow selfish or wrong. Your desires are holy. They are the way that love seeks to know itself more fully through your experience. The practical application of these principles begins with a simple recognition. The present moment is the only place where your power exists. Not in the past, which is gone, not in the future, which is yet to come, but right now, in this eternal present, where consciousness meets experience. In this moment, you can choose to expect the fulfillment of your desire. In this moment, you can choose to believe in its reality. In this moment, you can choose to release your attachment to how it unfolds. And in making these choices, you transform not only your future, but your present reality. For the person who truly understands these principles, life becomes a continuous miracle. Everywhere they look, they see evidence of consciousness creating reality. Every desire that manifests strengthens their faith. Every coincidence reveals the hand of infinite intelligence working on their behalf. Tonight, as you go to sleep, I want you to feel the satisfaction of your fulfilled desire, not as something you're working toward, but as something you're grateful to already possess. Feel the relief, the joy, the deep contentment of having what you've wanted. Let your expectation be so natural that it requires no effort. Let your belief be so deep that it needs no proof. Let your detachment be so complete that you're at peace, whether it comes tomorrow or next year, because you know beyond any shadow of doubt that it is already yours. This is not positive thinking. This is not wishful hoping. This is not self-deception or fantasy. This is the deliberate creation of your reality through the conscious direction of your imagination, guided by love and sustained by faith. You are not trying to get something you don't have. You are simply allowing something you already possess in consciousness to make itself known in your physical experience. You are not begging the universe for favors. You are claiming your birthright as a creative being made in the image of the Creator. Remember, you are not the beggar asking for scraps from an indifferent universe. You are not the victim of circumstances beyond your control. You are not limited by your past, your current conditions, or other people's opinions of what's possible for you. You are the operant power of your world, the author of your story, the creator of your experience. Everything you need is already within you. Every desire you've ever had is already fulfilled in the realm of consciousness, waiting only for your recognition and acceptance. The person who truly grasps these principles never again feels powerless. They may face challenges, they may encounter delays, they may need to navigate obstacles, but they never again doubt their ability to create the life they desire. They understand that consciousness is the only reality, that imagination creates reality, and that love is the force that transforms the invisible into the visible. So go forth with this knowledge. Expect the best, believe in the impossible, and release your attachment to how it all unfolds. Trust in the intelligence that beats your heart and grows your hair and heals your wounds to orchestrate the perfect unfolding of your desires. Your new life begins the moment you truly know this truth. And that moment, my dear friends, is now. My friends, tonight I want to reveal to you the most profound secret about manifestation. A secret so powerful that once you truly grasp it, your entire reality will transform before your very eyes. Everyone talks about manifestation as if it's this magical process where you set an intention, think positively, visualize the outcome, and then the universe delivers what you asked for. But I must tell you the uncomfortable truth that most teachers will never share with you. Manifestation doesn't work simply because you want it to. It doesn't respond to your desire. It doesn't answer your affirmations. It responds to something far more powerful, far more consistent, and far more subconscious. It responds to your energetic state of being. This is the fundamental principle that most manifestation teachers either don't understand or don't emphasize enough. You can repeat affirmations all day long. You can write your goals in a journal. You can meditate, visualize, create vision boards. These tools are all useful, my dear friends. But if deep down, your emotional signature is still rooted in lack, fear, doubt, or unworthiness, then those are the frequencies you're broadcasting into what the mystics call the quantum field. And this field, as modern quantum physics now shows us, doesn't respond to your intentions. It responds to your signal. I want you to understand something profound. Your personality creates your personal reality. But what I really mean is that your habitual thoughts and emotions form an energetic blueprint that the field then reflects back to you as your life circumstances. So the real secret isn't about asking for what you want. It's about becoming the version of you who already has it. It's about aligning your mind, your heart, and your body into a coherent signal that the universe can recognize and mirror back. This is where most people become trapped, my friends. They set intentions, but remain emotionally addicted to their old patterns. They say they want abundance, but live in a state of scarcity. They claim they want love, but operate from fear of rejection. They strive for health, but hold on to stress and resentment. And so, despite all their conscious efforts, nothing changes. They keep seeing the same patterns, meeting the same challenges, attracting the same types of relationships and opportunities. Or worse, they manifest what they fear instead of what they desire. This is not bad luck. This is not failure. This is the fundamental principle at work. The quantum field responds to your subconscious programming far more than to your conscious desires. It's not about what you're thinking once in a while. It's about what you're being all the time. And here's where it becomes even more fascinating. Your subconscious patterns are not just mental, they are embodied. Your body has become so conditioned to your past emotional states that even when your mind says, I am abundant, your body screams, I am still broke. This internal conflict sends a mixed signal to the quantum field. And in quantum mechanics, coherence is everything. Without coherence, there is no constructive interference, no amplification of your signal, no collapsing of the desired potential into manifested reality. This is why so many people feel like manifestation doesn't work for them. They try, they push, they affirm, but they don't shift their energetic baseline. They don't realize that manifestation is not about getting what you want. It's about becoming a vibrational match to the reality you want to experience. When you truly understand this, when you get this at the deepest level, you experience the breakthrough that makes manifestation instantaneous. But here's what you must understand. This transformation can't happen through willpower alone. You can't fake it till you make it by forcing yourself to think different thoughts. The subconscious mind and the body must be reprogrammed at the emotional and energetic levels. This is why true transformational practices focus not just on visualization, but on evoking elevated emotional states, gratitude, love, abundance before the external circumstances change. Because when you feel abundant, even while your bank account is empty, you are sending a new coherent signal to the field. And the field, being a mirror, responds in kind. Now, let me address something crucial. Most people misunderstand the process entirely. They believe that by changing their thoughts alone, they can change their lives. It's the classic teaching. Change your thoughts, change your reality. And while there is truth in that statement, it's dangerously incomplete. Thought is powerful, but it is only one part of the equation. If thought were enough, then every person who ever made a vision board would be living their dream life by now. If repeating affirmations every morning guaranteed change, then everyone would be wealthy, healthy, and deeply fulfilled. But reality shows us something else entirely, that many who think positively still find themselves trapped in old cycles, repeating patterns of struggle, scarcity, and frustration. Why is that? Because the quantum field does not respond to what you are thinking occasionally. It responds to the signal you are emitting consistently. And your signal is not just made up of your thoughts. It is a synthesis of your beliefs, your emotions, your subconscious programs, and your energetic state. Research in epigenetics shows us that it is the subconscious mind that drives 95% of our behavior and perceptions. That means, while your conscious mind may be diligently affirming abundance, your subconscious is still running programs of lack, fear, unworthiness, or failure. The quantum field is impartial. It does not weigh your wishes against your fears. It simply mirrors back to you the dominant frequency you are emitting. And if your emotional signature, the feelings that you are most practiced at, remains rooted in scarcity, then no amount of positive thinking will override that signal. This is why the concept of coherence is so crucial in this work. Coherence between your thoughts and your feelings. When what you think and what you feel are in conflict, the signal is incoherent, scattered, disorganized, weak. But when they are aligned, when you think thoughts of abundance and simultaneously feel abundant, then your signal becomes powerful, coherent, and magnetic. This is the cornerstone that most manifestation advice leaves out. It's not about thinking your way to success, but about feeling your way into alignment. Emotion is the language of the body, and your body is the instrument that transmits your energetic signal into the field. If your body is addicted to the stress hormones of survival, like cortisol and adrenaline, then it doesn't matter how many times you say, I am abundant. Your body is still saying, I am in danger. And it is that emotional baseline, not your affirmations, that the quantum field is responding to. This is why so many people feel stuck. They believe they are doing all the right things. They meditate, they visualize, they repeat affirmations, but they don't feel any different. And because they don't feel different, they keep broadcasting the same old signal into the field. The result, the field mirrors back the same old reality. You must understand, it is not enough to think about what you want. You must become it emotionally and energetically before it arrives. The subconscious mind, shaped by years of past experiences, traumas, beliefs, and cultural conditioning, acts like a filter. It determines how much of your conscious desires can actually pass through into your lived experience. And unless you deliberately reprogram this filter, your manifestations will continue to be blocked or distorted by old subconscious scripts. Now let me help you understand something profound about the nature of reality itself. The quantum field is a realm of infinite possibilities. Every potential outcome already exists as a wave of probability waiting to be collapsed into form by your observation and vibrational match. But here's what most don't realize. You don't observe with your eyes alone. You observe with your entire being, your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, and your energetic state. The observer effect is not just a scientific principle, it is a spiritual technology. When you observe your desired reality with thoughts of longing and feelings of lack, you are not truly aligned with that reality. You are observing it as something separate from you, something you hope to one day achieve. But when you observe it as something that already exists within you, when you assume the emotional state of already having it, you collapse that potential into form. This is why thought alone doesn't work. Because unless it is infused with the corresponding emotional and energetic frequency, it remains a mere possibility rather than a manifested reality. The science of instant manifestation is not about wishful thinking or magical rituals. It's about aligning your entire being, your thoughts, your emotions, your subconscious patterns, and your energetic state with the reality you want to experience. At the most fundamental level, everything in the universe is made up of energy vibrating at specific frequencies. This includes your thoughts, your emotions, your physical body, and every object and experience you can perceive. The quantum field is a vast sea of potential, a matrix of infinite possibilities where all potential realities exist simultaneously as probability waves. These waves remain in superposition, existing in multiple states at once, until they are collapsed into a single observable reality through an act of observation. But here's what many don't realize. You are always observing, always measuring, not just with your physical senses, but with your consciousness, your beliefs, your expectations, and your emotional state. Your very presence as a conscious being is a continual act of observation that influences how reality materializes around you. The quantum field doesn't respond to random thoughts or fleeting desires. It responds to the dominant frequencies you embody most consistently. This is where the concept of resonance becomes crucial. When a system vibrates at a particular frequency, it can cause another system to begin vibrating at that same frequency, a phenomenon known as entrainment. In the context of manifestation, when your internal state is vibrating in resonance with the reality you desire, the quantum field begins to entrain to your signal, organizing circumstances, opportunities, and synchronicities that bring that potential reality into form. This is why instant manifestation is possible. Not because you have manipulated the universe through force, but because you have become such a coherent, resonant signal that the field has no choice but to reflect that frequency back to you. It's like tuning a radio. When you align precisely with the frequency of the station you want to hear, the music becomes clear and immediate. But if you are even slightly off, all you get is static and distortion. When you are in coherence, your body moves out of the survival state and into a state of creation. In this state, your brain waves shift, your heart emits a more organized electromagnetic field, and your entire being becomes a precise, resonant transmitter, broadcasting your desired reality into the quantum field. The field, in turn, responds by collapsing the potential that matches your frequency. This is the essence of instant manifestation, not an act of willpower, but an act of resonance. You don't force the universe to comply with your desires. You align yourself so completely with your desired reality that the universe has no choice but to respond. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This simple, yet profound instruction is the key to instant manifestation. It's not about waiting for external evidence to feel successful, abundant, loved, or healthy. It's about generating those feelings now, independent of circumstances, thereby aligning your signal with the reality where those conditions already exist. Now that you understand the science, let me share with you how to actually activate this missing key within yourself. How do you shift from intellectual understanding to embodied practice, from conceptual knowledge to lived experience? The first and most essential step is to move from thinking to feeling. The thoughts we think are the electrical charge in the quantum field, but it is the emotions we feel that provide the magnetic component. Together they create an electromagnetic signature that broadcasts our state of being into the quantum field. But here's the critical point. Most people try to change their lives by only changing their thoughts, neglecting the emotional programming that continues to emit the old familiar signal of their past. To activate the missing key, you must begin by deliberately cultivating elevated emotional states, not in response to external conditions, but as a conscious choice independent of circumstances. This means feeling gratitude before the thing you desire arrives, feeling abundance before the money shows up, feeling love before the relationship manifests. This is the true secret. When you feel as if your manifestation is already present, you collapse the potential from a wave of probability into a particle of reality. Your heart, for example, has its own electromagnetic field, measurable several feet beyond your body. When you experience emotions like gratitude and love, your heart's field becomes more coherent, sending harmonious signals to the brain and shifting your body into a state of regulation and balance. This state of heart-brain coherence is not just pleasant. It is essential for creating a powerful unified signal that the quantum field can recognize and respond to. True transformational practices are structured precisely for this purpose, to help people break free from the habitual patterns of their past and to entrain their bodies to the emotions of their future. When you practice elevated emotional states consistently, your body learns to trust that new state as your new normal. This is how you overcome the biological addiction to survival emotions like fear, anger, and unworthiness. But emotional mastery alone is not enough. The second step is embodiment. This means that your new state of being must be integrated not just in meditation, but in your daily life. How do you carry yourself? How do you speak, act, and make decisions? Are your behaviors aligned with the reality you are intending to manifest? If you want to manifest success, but your habits reflect procrastination and self-sabotage, then you are not embodying the signal of success. Embodiment requires that you show up every day as if you already are the person you are becoming. You make decisions from that place. You set boundaries from that place. You relate to others from that place. This is where the missing key becomes active, not just in isolated moments of meditation, but as a continuous state of being. The third crucial element is presence. Most people live their lives caught in the familiar past or the predictable future, rarely inhabiting the present moment. But manifestation occurs in the now, because the now is the only place where the quantum field is accessible. The field is not something out there in some distant future. It is here, vibrating around you and through you at all times, waiting for you to tune your signal and engage with it consciously. Presence means letting go of the known, your habitual thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and stepping into the unknown, where all possibilities exist. This can feel terrifying because the known, even if uncomfortable, is familiar and predictable. The unknown requires trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in the process. Trust in the intelligence of the field. The field is a mirror. It reflects not what you desire, but who you are being in this moment. One of the most effective ways to cultivate presence is through breath work. Conscious breathing brings your awareness out of the mental noise and into the body, grounding you in the here and now. It shifts your physiology out of the stress response and into a state of openness, allowing you to access the deeper layers of your subconscious and to broadcast a more coherent signal. Another essential tool is visualization. but not in the superficial sense of imagining images in your mind's eye. True visualization involves embodying the emotional and physiological state associated with the vision. It's about rehearsing in your body the experience of already living that reality, until your nervous system no longer distinguishes between what is imagined and what is real. Neuroplasticity ensures that the brain rewires accordingly, creating new neural pathways that support your new identity. In practical terms, it means that you wake up each day and deliberately choose to think, feel, and act in alignment with your desired reality. It means that when old triggers arise, you recognize them for what they are, vestiges of your past programming, and you choose to respond differently. It means that you stop waiting for your external reality to change before you feel good, and instead, you make feeling good your new baseline, knowing that your internal state is the cause, not the effect. When you live this way consistently, something remarkable happens. The gap between intention and manifestation shrinks. Synchronicities increase. Opportunities arise seemingly out of nowhere. People, resources, and experiences align with precision and speed. Now that you've learned how to activate the missing key behind manifestation, you stand at a threshold. The moment where theory must become practice, where knowledge must evolve into embodiment. This is the point where you shift from living as a passive observer of your circumstances to becoming a conscious creator of your reality. And this shift changes everything. It is no longer about reacting to life, about waiting for external conditions to improve, so that you can finally feel happy, abundant, or loved. It is about realizing that your internal state is the creative force that shapes the very fabric of your existence. The field doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you are being consistently, day after day, moment after moment. To live as a conscious creator means to take radical responsibility for your energy. It means acknowledging that your thoughts are not harmless musings, but powerful frequencies that ripple through the quantum field, influencing the probabilities that collapse into your lived experience. It means recognizing that your habitual emotions are not just responses to your environment, but creative forces that magnetize experiences to you. This level of responsibility can feel overwhelming at first, because it dismantles the comforting illusion that life happens to you. But within this responsibility lies your greatest freedom. Because if you are the one creating your reality through your energetic signature, then you have the power to change it at any time. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the architect of your destiny. Living as a conscious creator requires vigilance and compassion. Vigilance to become aware of the moments when you slip back into old patterns, when fear, doubt, or unworthiness attempt to pull you back into familiar states of being. And compassion to understand that these patterns are not flaws, but survival mechanisms you developed to navigate the world in the past. They served a purpose, but they no longer define you. We are never more powerful than when we are conscious of our power. This is the essence of conscious creation, to know beyond doubt that your reality is a direct reflection of your energetic state, and that by mastering that state, you can shape your life in profound and miraculous ways. But remember, becoming a conscious creator is not a destination. It is a practice. It is a way of being that you cultivate through your choices, your attention, and your presence. Some days will feel effortless. Others will feel challenging. But every moment offers you an opportunity to realign, to choose coherence, to embody the version of you who is already living the life you desire. The field is always listening. It does not judge. It does not discriminate. It simply reflects. So the question you must ask yourself is not whether this works. It is always working. The question is, are you ready to align with it consistently, courageously, and consciously? Your journey doesn't end here. It is just beginning. The next version of you, the one who lives effortlessly in alignment with your highest desires, is already waiting within you. All that remains is for you to step into that version, to broadcast that signal into the field, and to allow the universe to mirror it back to you in ways more beautiful and abundant than you can possibly imagine. So take a breath, feel the gratitude for what is already unfolding, The field responds not to your words, not to your wishes, but to your state of being. And the moment you change that state, you don't need to ask for your manifestation anymore. It becomes inevitable.
Good evening, my friends. Tonight I am going to reveal to you the most powerful state of consciousness for manifestation. Tonight you will learn about the theta state, a specific brainwave frequency where the barrier between your conscious and subconscious mind dissolves completely. Tonight you will discover how to access your subconscious directly, bypassing all resistance, all doubt, all limiting beliefs. You will learn how to program your subconscious in minutes, what would otherwise take months of repetition and effort. This is not advanced technique. This is not difficult. This is simply understanding when your subconscious is most receptive and using that window of opportunity to plant the seeds of your desires. Let me start by explaining something you experience twice every single day, but have never consciously used for manifestation. Twice a day, once as you fall asleep and once as you wake up, your brain passes through a specific state of consciousness. Scientists call this the theta state. It is the border between waking and sleeping, between conscious and subconscious, between the outer world and the inner world. In this state, your brain waves slow down. You are no longer in the beta state of normal waking consciousness. You are not yet in the delta state of deep sleep. You are in theta, a dreamlike twilight state where the conscious mind relaxes its grip and the subconscious becomes directly accessible. This state lasts only a few minutes, but in those few minutes you have direct access to the subconscious mind without the interference of the conscious mind. Think about what this means. Every night as you drift towards sleep, there is a window, a precious window of 5 to 10 minutes, where your subconscious is wide open, receptive, suggestible, ready to accept whatever you impress upon it. And every morning as you emerge from sleep, there is another window, another 5 to 10 minutes, where your subconscious is still accessible before the conscious mind fully awakens and reasserts control. Most people pass through these states unconsciously. They fall asleep thinking random thoughts, worrying about tomorrow, replaying the day's problems. They wake up and immediately check the news, flooding their receptive subconscious with whatever anxiety or distraction appears on the screen. But you who are learning this tonight, you can use these states deliberately. You can program your subconscious directly in these moments of theta access. Now let me explain why the theta state is the most powerful time for impressing your subconscious. During normal waking consciousness, your conscious mind acts as a gatekeeper. It filters, it analyzes, it judges, it resists. When you try to impress a new idea on your subconscious, I am wealthy, I am loved, I am successful, your conscious mind immediately objects. But you are not wealthy. Look at your bank account. But you are not loved. You are alone. But you are not successful. Look at your circumstances. The conscious mind, with its attachment to current facts and past experiences, blocks the new impression from reaching the subconscious. This is why affirmations often fail. This is why visualization sometimes feels forced. The conscious mind is standing guard, rejecting anything that contradicts what it believes to be true. But in the theta state, the conscious mind is drowsy. Its grip loosens, its resistance fades. The gatekeeper falls asleep at the post. And when the gatekeeper is asleep, you can walk directly into the vault of the subconscious and place whatever you want there. In the theta state, there is no resistance. There is no doubt. There is no argument. The subconscious accepts whatever impression you give it as fact. This is why hypnosis works. Hypnosis is simply the deliberate induction of the theta state, so that suggestions can bypass the conscious mind and go directly into the subconscious. But you do not need a hypnotist. You do not need special training. You enter the theta state naturally twice a day. You simply need to learn how to use it. Let me go deeper into why programming the subconscious in theta is so effective. Your subconscious mind is the creative power within you. It is the part of you that builds your body, that orchestrates the functions of your organs, that heals your wounds, that creates your reality. The subconscious does not reason. It does not judge. It does not question. It simply accepts and creates. Whatever the subconscious accepts as true, it must create in your experience. This is law. This is how consciousness operates. If your subconscious accepts that you are poor, it must create poverty in your experience. If it accepts that you are sick, it must create sickness. If it accepts that you are unloved, it must create loneliness. But if your subconscious accepts that you are wealthy, it must create wealth. If it accepts that you are healthy, it must create health. If it accepts that you are loved, it must create love. The subconscious has no choice. It must outpicture whatever is impressed upon it. So the question is not whether the subconscious will create. The question is, what have you impressed upon it? What does it currently accept as true? Most people have impressed limitation upon their subconscious. Through years of negative thinking, through acceptance of lack, through absorption of other people's beliefs, they have programmed their subconscious to create limited, difficult, struggling realities. But the subconscious does not care what is impressed upon it. It will just as easily create abundance as lack, success as failure, health as sickness. It simply creates whatever it has been programmed to create. And the theta state is the most effective time to reprogram it. Now let me teach you exactly how to use the 2 theta windows each day. The first and most powerful theta window occurs as you fall asleep at night. As you lie in bed and your body begins to relax, your brain waves naturally slow down. You pass from beta, waking consciousness, through alpha, relaxed awareness, into theta, the drowsy twilight state just before sleep. In this state, you are conscious enough to direct your thoughts, but drowsy enough that the conscious mind's resistance has faded. You are in the perfect state for impressing the subconscious. This is why I have always taught the last thought you think before falling asleep is the most important thought of your day. Because that last thought, that last feeling, that last assumption sinks directly into your subconscious without interference. Your subconscious accepts it as instruction, and your subconscious works all night to make that instruction your reality. If you fall asleep thinking about problems, your subconscious accepts problems as the reality to create. If you fall asleep feeling poor, your subconscious accepts poverty as the state to maintain. If you fall asleep worrying, your subconscious accepts worry as the instruction for tomorrow. But if you fall asleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, if you fall asleep assuming your desire is already done, your subconscious accepts that as reality, and it works all night to reorganize your world to match. The second theta window occurs as you wake up in the morning. As you emerge from sleep, you pass through the same theta state in reverse. For the first few minutes after waking, before you fully return to beta consciousness, your subconscious is still accessible. This is a sacred time. This is when your subconscious is most impressionable, before the concerns of the day flood in, before the conscious mind reasserts its limiting beliefs. Most people waste this window. They immediately think about their schedule, their problems, their responsibilities. They flood their receptive subconscious with stress and limitation right at the moment it is most open to programming. But you can use this window deliberately. The moment you wake, before you move, before you open your eyes fully, before you think about the day ahead, assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Those first few minutes of waking consciousness are pure gold for manifestation. Use them. When you wake in the morning, do not move immediately. Do not jump out of bed. The moment you sense you are awake, while you are still in that drowsy, half-asleep state, return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Before the conscious mind fully awakens and starts listing all the reasons why you do not have your desire, impress the feeling that you do have it. Spend just 2 or 3 minutes in this feeling. That is all you need. The subconscious is so receptive in this state that even a few minutes of clear impression will work powerfully throughout your day. Then rise and go about your day, knowing that you have planted the seed deeply in the most fertile soil of your subconscious. Let me emphasize something crucial. In theta state programming, the feeling is everything. You are not trying to visualize in great detail. You are not trying to construct elaborate mental scenes. You are impressing a feeling, because feelings are the language of the subconscious. The subconscious does not respond to words. It does not respond to pictures alone. It responds to feeling. When you feel wealthy, the subconscious accepts wealth as your state. When you feel loved, it accepts loved as your reality. When you feel successful, it accepts success as your identity. The feeling impresses the subconscious, and what is impressed must be expressed. So do not strain to visualize perfectly. Do not worry about getting every detail right. Simply capture the feeling of already being, already having, already living the reality you desire. Hold that feeling as you drift to sleep. Return to that feeling as you wake. Let the feeling sink into the theta state and impress itself on your subconscious. This is the technique. This is direct access. Now let me explain why theta state programming succeeds where other methods often fail. When you try to impress your subconscious during the day, during normal waking consciousness, you are fighting against the conscious mind's resistance. You are trying to convince yourself of something your conscious mind rejects. It is exhausting. It requires tremendous willpower, and often the conscious mind wins. But in the theta state, there is no fight. There is no resistance. The conscious mind is drowsy and permissive. It does not argue. It does not object. It simply allows. So the impression goes in cleanly, deeply, without obstacle. One impression in theta can be more powerful than 100 affirmations spoken during the day. One feeling held in theta can outweigh hours of visualization practiced in beta consciousness. This is why I've always emphasized the importance of your state at bedtime. This is why I've taught you to live in the end as you fall asleep. Because that is when the subconscious accepts without question. That is when programming happens effortlessly. Once you are in theta, once you have assumed the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you can create what I call a feeling loop. You hold the feeling. The feeling deepens the theta state. The deeper theta state makes the feeling more real. The more real the feeling, the deeper the impression. The deeper the impression, the more your subconscious accepts it. It becomes a self-reinforcing cycle. You go deeper and deeper into the feeling, deeper and deeper into theta, and the impression becomes more and more powerful. This is how you program your subconscious in minutes, what would otherwise take months. Now, while the natural theta windows at sleep and waking are the most powerful, you can also induce theta-like states during the day. Whenever you deeply relax, during meditation, during a quiet moment of rest, during that drowsy feeling after a meal, you can slip into a lighter theta state. In these moments, the conscious mind's grip loosens. The subconscious becomes more accessible, and you can use these moments for quick reprogramming. A woman I knew would take a short rest every afternoon. She would lie down, close her eyes, and within a few minutes, she would enter a light theta state, relaxed, drowsy, but still conscious. In this state, she would spend 5 minutes feeling herself living in her desired reality. She would feel the reality of having her desire so completely that it became more real than her current circumstances. She did this every single day, twice a day actually, once in the afternoon and once before sleep. Within 3 months, her entire life had transformed. The job she desired appeared. The relationship she wanted manifested. The financial freedom she sought became her reality. Not because she worked hard at manifestation, not because she spent hours visualizing, but because she used theta state programming consistently, allowing her subconscious to accept and create her desired reality without resistance. Here is something profound. While your conscious mind sleeps, your subconscious never stops working. All night long, while you are unconscious, your subconscious is active. It is processing, it is creating, it is organizing your reality based on whatever was last impressed upon it. This is why the feeling you fall asleep in is so critical, because that feeling becomes the blueprint your subconscious works from all night. If you fall asleep in the feeling of wealth, your subconscious spends 8 hours working to create wealth. If you fall asleep in the feeling of love, your subconscious spends 8 hours arranging circumstances to bring love into your life. Your subconscious is building the bridge of incidents while you sleep. It is orchestrating synchronicities, aligning opportunities, rearranging your world to match the state you impressed upon it in theta. This is effortless manifestation. You are not forcing anything. You are not struggling. You are simply impressing your subconscious in its most receptive state, and then allowing it to do what it naturally does, create your reality. This relates to what I have taught about the Sabbath, the day of rest where you do no work. When you impress your subconscious in theta, when you feel your desire fulfilled and then drift to sleep, you are entering your Sabbath. You are resting in the knowledge that it is done. You are not trying to make it happen. You are not anxiously working to manifest. You have planted the seed in theta. You have impressed the subconscious. Now you rest. You let it work. This is the Sabbath principle. Do your work, the work of assuming the feeling, and then rest, knowing the subconscious will bring it to pass. Theta state programming is the perfect embodiment of this principle. You do your 2 minutes of work in theta, impressing the feeling, then you sleep, resting in the confidence that the subconscious is creating your desire while you do nothing. Let me tell you about a man who understood theta state programming and used it to transform his life completely. He had been struggling financially for years. He tried various manifestation techniques, affirmations, vision boards, action steps, but nothing created lasting change. He would make a little progress, then slide back into lack. When he learned about theta state programming, he realized his mistake. He had been trying to change his reality through conscious effort during the day, but he had been falling asleep every night in the feeling of lack, worrying about bills, feeling stressed about money, thinking about his problems. Every night he was programming his subconscious for more lack. 8 hours of subconscious creation based on the wrong impression. He changed his approach. Every single night, as he felt himself entering theta, the drowsy state just before sleep, he assumed the feeling of financial freedom. He felt what it would feel like to have abundant money, to pay bills easily, to make purchases without concern. He did not visualize specific amounts. He did not imagine specific scenarios. He simply felt financially free. And he held that feeling as he drifted to sleep. Every morning as he woke, he returned to that feeling before getting out of bed. 2 or 3 minutes of feeling financially free while still in the morning theta window. He did this consistently for 30 days, morning and evening, every single day, programming his subconscious directly in theta without the interference of his conscious mind. And within 30 days, his financial situation began to shift. An unexpected tax refund, a freelance opportunity, a promotion at work, small changes at first, then larger ones. By 90 days, his entire financial reality had transformed, not through struggle, not through extraordinary effort, but through consistent theta state programming that impressed his subconscious with a new reality. His subconscious accepted the new impression, and it created the new reality. The truth is, your subconscious is always ready to create whatever you impress upon it. It is not resisting. It is not judging. It is simply waiting for clear instruction. The problem has never been your subconscious. The problem has been getting past the conscious mind to reach the subconscious. And now you know the solution. The theta state, the natural gateway that opens twice a day, the window of direct access where you can bypass all resistance and program your subconscious exactly as you choose. Tonight when you go to bed, you are going to use the evening theta window deliberately. As you lie down and feel yourself becoming drowsy, recognize this is theta. This is the moment of direct access. Choose one desire, just one, and assume the feeling of already having it, not the excitement of getting it, not the hope that it might come, but the calm, natural feeling of already being in that reality. Hold that feeling. Let it be the last thing you feel before sleep. Let it sink into your subconscious without resistance. Tomorrow morning, the moment you wake, before you move or think about your day, return to that feeling. Feel it again. Impress it again in the morning theta window. Do this every single day for the next week, morning and evening. Consistent theta state programming. And watch what happens. Watch how your subconscious, having received clear instruction without resistance, begins to create your desired reality. This is not difficult. This is not complicated. This is simply using the natural state of consciousness you already experience twice a day. You have been passing through theta your entire life without knowing how to use it. Now you know. Now you can access your subconscious directly and program it deliberately. Your subconscious creates your reality. Whatever is impressed upon it must be expressed in your experience. For years you have been impressing it unconsciously, with worry, with doubt, with acceptance of limitation. Now you can impress it consciously. In theta, when the door is open, when there is no resistance, 2 windows a day, 5 minutes each. That is all you need. Morning theta, feel the wish fulfilled. Evening theta, feel the wish fulfilled. Your subconscious accepts. Your subconscious creates. Your reality transforms. This is direct access. This is theta state programming. This is how you bypass all resistance and plant your desires directly in the creative soil of your subconscious mind. Use it. Thank you, and good evening. As always, thank you for joining me on this journey into the depths of consciousness. Remember, you are not here by accident. You are here because your soul is ready for this truth. Take these teachings and let them transform not just your mind, but your entire reality. Until we meet again in consciousness, keep assuming your greatness and living from the end of your desires. This is Best of Lectures, and I'll see you in the next video.